everyone, today I'm going to be drawing Hatsune Miku and talking about how life drawing can actually be really fun. So generally, I think people believe that life drawing can only be like still lifes or figure drawing, or really just kind of basic objects to get the feel of a shape, when really it can be any object. So for this one, I chose a Hatsune Miku figurine that I got in Chicago a couple years back at a store called Mitsuwa. If you don't know, it's like a giant Japanese grocery store slash bookstore slash luncheon slash anything you can really think of that's Japanese. Anyway, it's beautiful. And I picked it kind of randomly. I was trying to figure out what to draw, and I saw her standing on my shelf, and I was like, ah, yes, my goddess. So I put her in front of my screen and was just like, okay, let's see where this goes. And through drawing her, I really found a new love for this figure that's been in my room for a long time. And I discovered so many more unique aspects to it, like how her eyes shine and how they're drawn on and painted. Like, I never really looked at her as in-depthly as I did when I was drawing this. So if you're going to try this, I recommend you find an item that means a lot to you. It could be an old stuffed animal, shoes, perfume, a race car, a microphone, watch, really anything that you can think of that holds a lot of memories and something you want to learn more about. And it doesn't have to be one object, it could be multiple. When you're first starting out, I would recommend just doing one so you can really fall in love with it, but do whatever you want. So going back into why people recommend that you draw still lifes, it's so that you can develop your eye around how shadows work, how form works, and really just how drawing works. And it can be boring. Like in school, they'd recommend like, oh, draw a sphere, draw a cube, draw a cone, all of those basic objects that, yes, you do learn from them, but I could see many people giving up and quitting because it's not interesting and they don't care about it. So I'd recommend this challenge to really anyone, whether you're just starting out, you're intermediate, or you've been drawing forever. You can really find some benefit from taking time, sitting with something you love, and analyzing every little bit of it. As well as adding to your visual library, you get to create a visual memento of a moment with something that has brought you happiness in the past and will hopefully continue to do so in the future. As an added benefit, if somehow you lose this item, it gets worn out, you can't take it with you anymore because it's super ratty and smelly and it's just not worth it, and your mom throws it away, it gets burned in a house fire, you'll still have this memento. Additionally, you'll have learned whatever skills that you learned from drawing it, and that's really fun. And I would say that's a lot more worthwhile than, a drawing that you made in 10th grade of a sphere that you hated and could no longer work with anymore. I'm not saying that you shouldn't draw these still lifes. I do think they're valuable in their own sense. But if you're wanting to learn to love drawing even more, or you're struggling with learning to love drawing, I would not recommend doing them at first. I would do something that you like already, and I would recommend that outside of life drawing as well. When people ask me like, hey, like I want to get into art, but I really don't know how, what should I draw? I tell them, okay, what do you like? What artists do you like? What images do you like? And what would you want your art to look like? And start there. Find the artist that you love, take an image of theirs, and just try to draw it. You don't need to know anything else outside of that. No drawing technique. Just spend time with that art piece and learn what you love about it. And that's a great starting place. And you can do it at any point in your art career. I still have artists that I forever love deeply. And if I really want to get into a piece more, I'll just draw it. I don't share it with anybody. It's just for me to develop my skills and to learn more about it. Like every time I draw someone else's work, I'm like, oh my God, I'd never noticed that. And I've looked at this so many times. It also makes you look at it for a lot longer. Like, generally, if I'm looking at an art piece, sadly, on like social media and stuff, it might be for like 30 seconds or so, or if I really like it, I'll sit with it. But when you're drawing it, you really have to analyze every aspect of it. And the same with this figurine. Like, I looked at it for about 3 hours. That's how long the Speedpaint was. I obviously edited it down a bunch, but I got to sit with Miku and learn what I could about her. The great thing about drawing from life is that you have a cheat sheet. So if you're trying to draw from imagination, you literally have to make it up, and that is difficult. But if you have something in front of you, it has all of the answers there. You just have to replicate it. And of course, that's easier said than done. I'm not saying that it's going to magically form, but you do have a guide and you need to use it. So when I was looking at this figure, I couldn't assume what was going to happen if I wanted it to look like the figure. I couldn't assume like, okay, this is what a leg looks like. I'm going to draw a leg. No, I have to draw Miku's leg. She's right in front of me and I love this leg. And I just have to stare at it until I understand it, and then I can start drawing it. Really take your time. It is not a speed demon game. You just got to take your time, go slow, figure out why things go together. Like, why is her waist as big as it is? Why are her legs this long? How do they go together on the paper? And you can compare it back and forth. Another great thing about being able to draw it from life is that you can spin it around. Unlike an image that's flat, you have a three-dimensional surface to really discover how the light is affecting it. So I would turn her upside down and see like, okay, this is how wide this is. And even though like you're not technically drawing all those sides, you'll develop a firmer understanding of what the weight of the object is and how it exists in the world. And transcending that onto paper is easier when it's tangible. What you can also do is make studies of the same object from different angles. So I could spin her around and do a 3/4 view from the side, upside down looking up her skirt. Really anything is possible. So by drawing it from multiple angles and with multiple emotions, you can develop a sense of what it is in your head, and later you can draw it from memory. So to continue your learning from the object you drew from life, I recommend that you draw it the next day and you don't look at it at all. And from then, you understand what you gathered from the object. And because you have emotions attached to it already, from what I understand and what has happened to me, those emotions will help you remember what you drew. And by doing this multiple times, you'll build your library and be able to draw different things from what you had drawn before. So for example, this pose I had never done before. Not sure why, it seems relatively simple, just your arms out and everything, but I was able to replicate that in my sketchbooks. And I drew various other characters in the same pose with different hair, different eyes, and all those things. But because I cared about what I was drawing, it made me want to draw more of it, which is awesome. So at the end of the day, if you think this is a good idea, I recommend that you take your object right now and set it up for a drawing. You don't have to draw it right now. I recommend you do, but just have it there. Have it there so you can look at it, observe it, and maybe you'll get inspired to really take it to the next level and give it that shake me down that it deserves. As we come to the end of the video, I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and if you want to support me, please subscribe, like the video, and comment what you're going to draw. You can also find me on Blue Sky, Instagram, and probably some other places that I'll link in the description, but I'm starting my Blue Sky, and I hope that other people can join me on there. It seems better than Instagram. I fucking hate Instagram right now, but here we are. Thanks. Bye-bye. I'll see you later.